Hello sunshines and welcome to my channel. I am Alice and this is the second part of my organic basics review. In the previous video I talked more about their clothes, while here I will discuss if they're really sustainable as they claim to be or if they're just greenwashing. I thought it could be a little bit boring for you if I was just sitting here and talking about how great they are, so I thought it could be better to really show you step by step how I decide if a brand is truly sustainable, and I will explain exactly what are the good and bad signs. So it will be a little bit long, so let's get started. So now I am inside the website and the first thing I do is check in the About section. Because when this section is non-existent, very difficult to find, or it contains only little and vague information, that's a bad sign. Because if a brand is doing everything by the rules, then they would like to show it off, not to hide it. And here we see that the About section is right at the top, and when we click on it, we see that there is a lot of details and the information is very well organized, so they really made it easy for us to find exactly what we want to find, which is a very good start. We know that companies lie all the time about how sustainable they are. So a third-party certifications means that an external organization went inside a company and checked and guaranteed that they are telling the truth, basically. So if we look at the About section, we see that they actually don't have a page just for certificates. This actually doesn't really bother me, and I will explain later on why. But I know that if we go at the bottom of their homepage, we see right here that they are a certified B Corporation, and that's huge. Because normally a certification looks only at one aspect of the company, for example, materials, while a B certificate means that they looked at all the company and they ensured that at every step of the ladder there were environment and labor standards that were guaranteed and respected. So that's a very important thing. So now I would look at the factories, because factories can really tell us a lot about the environment and labor standard. So the more detailed that section, the better. Now I have to say that Organic Basics is one of the best sections I've ever seen. They do list all their factories, and then for each factories they show exactly what they're producing there, information about the factory, and information about their employees. So for example, we see if they're working part-time or full-time and what are all their benefits. We also see what are all the certifications that factory has. So here, for example, we see that they have the GOTS certification for organic cotton and the GRS certification for recycled materials, which makes sense considering that they produce recycled denim here. Now this is why it doesn't really bother me that they don't have a separate page with all the certifications. I honestly think that this is a better way to display it, even if it makes it a little bit difficult for us as consumers to find information. And that's because I've seen a lot of time situations in which brands are just saying that their factories have this and this certification, but they don't name what are the factory they're working with, and or they're not linking each specific factory with the certifications. So what can happen there is that they are working with some factories that are indeed very good and that have those certifications. But maybe they're even working with sweatshops and we don't really know because they didn't name the factories or they didn't show what certification the factory have. So it's a very easy way to pretend they are very good when maybe they are a little bit shadier. So in this way instead, we are really ensuring that each factory they're working with is certified and has relevant certifications. And here we see that they have a specific page dedicated to the impact index, in which they explain exactly how they measure it. And we have different categories again, so waste, chemicals, energy, emissions, and water. And for each of these categories, they give a general overview of how much is the normal waste of a normal company and how much they are wasting or saving. Of course, here the information is quite general, but you can go at the top of the page and read the full report, in which there is, of course, a lot more information. They even published their impact report for 2019. So you can basically see the same like categories as before. So we have emission, water and fabric waste, and you can see exactly how much they used, wasted or saved in the previous year, which means that they are really extremely transparent, which is obviously a very good sign. In general, a very good, quick and lazy tip is just go to their website and look at the materials they are using. So in their case, they are only using two virgin materials, organic cotton and tencel, and they are both very good sustainable options. All the other fabrics like wool and polyester are all recycled. Personally, I believe that a brand should represent real people rather than representing ideal beauty standards that are harmful and often racist, because they are only representing one type of person that normally is very tall, very thin, very blonde and very white. So here we see that they actually have quite a good representation of different ethnicity, different body traits, different body shapes, etc. But I would say that I would like to see a little bit more size inclusivity. I mean, their models are not too thin by any stretch, but they only carry until the size XL for women and XXL for men, so they could be a little bit more inclusive. We see already here the symbol for the 1% for the planet, so we know already that they are donating to environmental organization, and as always they do show more information about who they are working with. So these are all organizations that work for biodiversity, and then as always when you click on them, then they show even more information on how they partner with this organization. So as always they are very clear and very transparent. We also see that there is a regenerative cotton pilot project, and this is basically a project that uses the revenue from parts of the revenue from the Black Friday to turn a conventional cotton field in Turkey into regenerative organic cotton fields. And that's really amazing because for me, it's a very smart way of doing business. This obviously will benefit them economically since they are working with organic cotton, but it will also benefit the landowner and the planet as whole in the long run. Also, we see here that they have a low impact website. Now, in case you don't know, the internet can be quite resource intensive, especially when you have a website that has a lot of pictures and videos. So they did create a low impact version of their own website that uses a lot less resources. And that for me is amazing, even beyond the website itself, because it's really showing that they are trying to identify every possible area in which they are producing waste and try to reduce it. So to conclude, I really believe that Organic Basics is an amazing company that is doing really well on a sustainable and ethical standpoint. And if you saw my other review, you know that I also absolutely love their products. There is for sure some space for improvement, as always, especially for the size inclusivity. But I also think that they are really showing us that they are willing to improve over time. I am subscribed to their newsletter, and I know that a lot of these amazing features that we see in today weren't there from the beginning, so they are really improving. So that was it for today. I hope this was useful for you, not just to know how sustainable is Organic Basics, but also to give you an idea of what to look for when we are trying to understand if someone is truly sustainable and not just greenwashing. So I hope it was a useful video. If you think so, please give it a thumbs up and maybe subscribing to my channel. I always do videos about sustainable living, sustainable fashion and minimalism, so I would absolutely love to have you back. And until next time, bye!